So we are on our way to Chicago, baby, Chicago. Anyways, a little story about the second city in Chicago before I teach you about whatever I'm about to learn later today is that I've been making this drive. It is a 5-hour drive from Kentucky to Chicago, where the second city is. They have multiple locations in New York City and in Toronto. They also have in-person classes. They have virtual classes, and that would save me a 10-hour round trip and an entire day. But I have never enjoyed an online class about acting or something that would need something physical. I mean, improv, if you've ever taken an improv class or if you've ever seen an improv show, it's physical. You interact with people. And when I'm on, Zoom or whatever it is, I'm talking to a screen. I'm in my room. It's not the same. So I would rather drive a 10-hour round trip for a 3-hour improv class. That's another thing too. It's really long. A lot of acting classes, like the one that I regularly go to once a week, is about just 1 hour, hour and a half. But 3 hours, you really get to dive into acting. The class I take is Actors for Improv. So this is mainly improv, but how you can implement this as an actor. And so we travel. We have been traveling since November of 2025. And the first ever improv class I took at the Second City was Improv 1. That is the first class. If you've never taken improv, you don't know anything about improv, or they have drop-in classes, but this is like a actual term. You go there for 7 weeks, so it is a commitment. But I wanted to get the foundational, what do you do as a beginner? So Improv 1, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are classes. I took Improv 1 for 8 weeks, and then I finished in April. Whatever month comes before April, I took Improv for Actors 1, and you do have to apply for that. So I have been a working actor for over 4 years, based in the Midwest, based in Kentucky, and I've booked a fair amount of work in the past, a few commercials, local. I've been fortunate enough to book my first feature film this year. We filmed that in March, and I worked with Alex Wolff, an amazing director, and other actresses, and just amazing crew. And so that movie hopefully comes out soon. Hopefully I will update this YouTube video and leave a link to it in the description down below. But we did Improv for Actors 1, and like I said, for Improv 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, Improv for Actors is its own class that you do have to apply for. You don't have to be a working actor. You could be in college, I don't know, or university, working as an actor. I never went to school. I didn't like school. I love education. I don't like school at all. So I don't know what that's like. I think it's called a BFA, your boyfriend fun application. And so you can apply for that if you have those credits. And this class lasts for 7 weeks, Improv for Actors 1. Today's our first class for Improv for Actors 2. So now that you're updated with I've been to the Second City many times before. I drive 10 hours to get there. It's a 3-hour improv class. When we get there, I'll show you what the Second City in Chicago is like, the outside. I'll try my best to vlog as much as I can. And I can't show you inside the class because there is a strict regulation of no recording inside the class without anyone's permission. But I do talk about what I learned in that class. So a lot of this content that I'll be vlogging is going to be on my second channel, Actors Notes, where I simply strictly servantly talk about my experience in class. And it's not going to be the same for everyone, but this is just the thoughts and the notes and the questions that came up to me and that I asked during class that someone else might be curious enough to ask or feel and think about, and maybe it might resonate with someone out there. And I've been doing this a lot. Hopefully you make the same mistakes, because that's part of improv. You have to make the mistakes, embrace those mistakes. A lot of people feel discouraged, or they don't feel confident enough to take a risk because you might make a mistake. But maybe that mistake could turn into something absolutely gorgeous, especially in improv. So there's a lot to learn, and even though that I've been doing this for about 14, 15 weeks in total of 3-hour improv classes, you do the math, you always have to continue going to class. You always have, it's like working out. You have to continually work out this acting muscle. Otherwise, you know, it kind of just goes away. And so, yes, I have to come with a student mentality and believe that I'm going to learn something new. And usually, most of the time, I do. Don't have an ego. Leave your ego at the door before you go into to improv class. But without further ado, we are, let me see if I can flip the camera. We are currently 4.5 hours away from Chicago. We travel through Indiana and then we get downtown. Or we go to Illinois. I call it Chicago. I think Chicago is its own state, so we go to Illinois. I will see you guys at the front while we're going to Chicago. I have a ritual. I listen to a specific song when I get there, and it's so funny to me. But it feels, I don't know, I feel like I'm inside of a movie. Like we're all inside of our own movie. So I'll play that song here in a second. Let's see downtown. Hold on, you ready? I can always play this song. And, you know, he's just saying, when I'm back in Chicago, you know, you can take the city out of the man. I think about the second city. You can take the man out of the city, out of the second city, out of the Chicago city, but you can't take the second city. You can't take Chicago at the man. So wherever I am, if it's here in the Midwest or hopefully in California where I pursue content creation, I'll always remember being in Chicago, being in the second city. And so that's what this song means to me. That's the ritual. I'm I'm half Filipino, but today I'm full Filipino because I'm fully going to be late for this class. We are going to be parking. By the way, if you ever come to Chicago, I did not know about this. Parking is crazy, especially downtown. So there's an app called Spot Hero, and Spot Hero helps you find parking around the city, helps you understand where the garages are, if they are covered or uncovered, if you need a QR code or if you don't, stuff like that. So it's very affordable at times, and I use the garage that is covered right next to the second city. It's called Piper's Alley. That's the street or whatever it's called. So I'm just going to enjoy the rest of the song, and you're going to see me quickly squirmish to the second city. Alrighty. We're about to get to the second city. Let me show you. There she is. So this is the second city, boys and girls. Here is where we are going to park. Look, she's a gorgeous beauty. Gorgeous beauty. And you gotta be very careful with this stuff. By the way, I'm late. I'm significantly late. Scan the barcode. It is 4:07 right now. So, and I need a pee. And class has already started. But if we're fortunate, then the class before, because there's always like classes before and then after. Actually, the 7 p.m. might be the last class. I gotta compose myself. I'm getting excited. Plus, I took a caffeine pill. There is, I think, 4 levels, and I know a specific spot that I like to park at that I can just walk right into the second city. So it can get pretty, how you call it, pretty intimidating to park all throughout Chicago. But what was I going to say? Yeah, sometimes there's classes and it delays the next class. Here we go. This is where I shall park in my go-to parking spot. Ka-chow. Gotta make sure the car is locked at least 4 times. Okay, we're good. It is currently 4:10. My class started 10 minutes ago. I'm a true Filipino. Oh. Let me show you a little bit about the second city. I really have to tinkle. My right leg is asleep. This is what I see. So this is the second city coming in from Piper's Alley garage. Absolutely gorgeous, just like this. I think one of my favorite, how do you say, features about this place is especially the flag. And we're about to see it here on the left-hand side. But look. It's facing the opposite way. There is second city. Okay, I'm late to class. I need to go to the bathroom. I'll see you guys during halftime. So we are in halftime right now, which lasts only about 10 to 15 minutes. I showed up very late. They were doing a game, an exercise. My instructor, he's so different than the first one. Every instructor is different, but I came in and oh my gosh, I don't have a lot to talk. I can to go in depth with, but at the moment, it was right off the bat. We did warm-up exercises, which were very fun, and then we did scenes. And apparently I was making a lot of mistakes. but you gotta make those mistakes. I embraced it. I said somebody out of the 7 of us have to. By the way, to me, it's almost like the lottery of this happening, but one of the students I'm with, I've been with for the past 14 weeks, so it feels good to have a friend or someone that you know, and he's a friend, in this journey with me, and you might see him later, so stay tuned. 600 to 700, but we're like, no, we wait till she's Russian, so she's like, we wait till sale, and then we wait till there's another sale, so you can wave 3, 2, 1. Okie dokie, artichoke, beautiful people. As you can tell, we are at the second city. This is called Actors Notes, where I just share the notes that I took in class, especially improv class. I mean, I take different acting classes back home in Kentucky, but we just finished the first day of Actors for Improv 2. So I didn't use this at all. I didn't take any notes. What's the point of Actors Notes if I don't take any notes? I did this because, first of all, I was late. I was about 12 minutes late, so I came into class. It was a locked door, so I knocked in. I was like, oh, they were doing some kind of exercises. So I came in. I didn't know who the instructor was. I mean, he was wearing a big old Second City t-shirt, but I didn't realize it. His name was Jack. I like his groove. It's so different than my first instructor, Tom, because he didn't wear any shoes, which I was very curious about. He had socks, but he was barefoot. And he kind of had this, how do you call it? Something with his lip where it kind of looked like Sylvester Stallone. I was like, this guy's seen some improv shows. He's seen some action. But everything was physical. So this, pointless. We didn't have any moments to where I could sit down and write down because we were, like, that's the thing about improv. It's so physical. So, like I said, I just jumped right into a game. It was, you look at somebody and you say, it was like a word association. So you say a word, you say airplane, you look at somebody. They take that, whatever was the first thing associated with that, you say flying, you look at somebody else in the group. They say, you hear flying, you say Superman, Superman, hero, hero, Marvel. And you just go back and it changes. There's no wrong way to do it. It's just word association. And then we did no whoosh. Whoosh, if I've been saying that many times in my previous improv videos, episodes in YouTube videos where the whoosh game might be common, but I think every instructor has their own different game because we did not play whoosh at all. We did a naming game, right? So we would point to someone, we would say their name, they would point to someone else, they would say their name, and we just did that back and forth to get familiar with everybody's name. And then we kind of went right into scenes. Not 3-line scenes per se, but it was really scene work. He would just tell us to stop whenever we felt ready. All right, I'm gonna get close to you guys. Here's where I felt, not like a newbie. Yeah, I felt like a newbie. I felt like, not embarrassed, but I definitely made a mistake. He said, okay, get in 2 lines. I'm the initiator, meaning I start the scene off, and I create a scene. 3-line scenes, essentially is you say a sentence, they say a sentence, and you say a sentence, and that's your scene. But this went on a little longer. So he said, today, this game is called The Day. So today is the day. All right, every day you've had in the past could be boring or forgetful, sad even, but today is the day. And the person that you start the scene off with, there's someone you want to give this good news to because it's the day. Now, when I heard that, I was just like, I don't even remember my first thing. It was spontaneous, it was in the moment. I think I said, doctor, I'm ready for my surgery today. He said, nope, 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 it's not important. Man, I thought I did something right there. I thought I did the who we are. So I said doctor, as in I'm the patient, because I'm having a surgery. It's the day I'm having surgery. I didn't really establish what I'm doing. I mean, I know we're going into surgery, but there's nothing physical that I was miming. So he said, nope, have something more important. This should be a friend, somebody that you know. I don't know where my mind went with this, but I looked at him, my scene partner, and I said, dude, bro, that haircut, I've been wanting it for such a long time. I don't know, I was hyping up this haircut. He said, nope, not important enough. That's pretty average. A haircut, really? I was like, whoa, the haircut. I love that haircut. He was really digging at me, but almost in a good way. And I wasn't like, shy. I just kept on giving choices. The one that we stuck with was, listen, bro, I know we haven't talked in a long time, but for your birthday, I just wanted to say I love you. And we started the scene. He said, you know what? He just initiated. He said, dude, have we known each other for 15 years? He said names. He said Paul, and I gave him a name, Jim or something. He said, it's actually not my birthday. And we did just a few lines, and then we passed. Long story short, I got a vibe of the teacher's way of instructing. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this way of instructing. I'm not trying to dog any instructor. I'm not trying to favoritize one over the other. I knew going into this, I was like, every instructor is different. This is something I'm highly aware of, that no matter what you're learning, even if it's improv, it can be taught in so many different ways. And so he was really, I want to say gritty. He was very rigid with it, because if we made a mistake, which you should always make mistakes, he would call you out in that moment, and he would obviously guide you in the direction to help you be a better improviser. But I think Improv for Actors 2 really dives into the acting space of thinking about subtext. Okay, you're saying this, but you should know the person that you're talking to as if you've known them for many years. Now, a lot of the things that we discussed, I've known already, like from Improv 1 to Actors for Improv 1, and we were just implementing that. By the way, there was nothing, absolutely nothing on the whiteboard. So I was like, I can't write down anything. We only played games. We only talked about exercises or did the exercises and really dive deep into, okay, you know not to ask questions. You know to say yes and. You know to accept the gifts. You've already done improv. That's not what we are going to be solely learning. We're going to be learning about subtext. Okay, when you go into a scene, how do you feel? How do you feel about who you're talking to? Where are you in this timeline? We should be, as in the audience, they should watch it and they should think, oh, they've known each other their whole life. You should be stepping into the middle of something, not the beginning or the end. Where does this scene kind of go? You have to trust your scene partner to know that wherever we start, if I initiate or you initiate, or there's a circumstance that is already pre-made from the instructor, we've been here before. I'll leave you with this. Actually, I want to show you a little bit more about the Second City. So I kind of wanted to show you more about the Second City. So this is one of the back walls. This is a bar going into, this is the 4th floor, by the way. This is the 4th floor. As you can tell, I'm not an instructor on telling you what this place is. This is Donnie's Skybox. I really like this. My class is actually straight ahead. Hi. And I know that there are classes going on, but I just wanted to show you a little bit about what I see. So that is conservatory. My class is actually straight ahead, room 405. The first class I ever did was right here. I think it's room 30402 or something. I don't know. So you come out. Let me show you this. This might be my favorite feature. It is a flag saying the Second City. I'm trying to find other locations to film. But like I said, we are on the top floor. It does go down to, other theaters that we can check out right now. Oops, I'm trying to play with this Pocket Osmo, and it's so unique. So we're gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna show you a little bit more. Oh, by the way, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Steve Carell, so many legends came from the Second City. This is Judy's Beat Lounge. There might be classes going on, so I'm gonna be very quiet. There's a class going on, so I'm gonna be very quiet. Okay, somebody was doing stand-up comedy. Like, there's so many different classes here. Oh, I know exactly where I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right here and talk to you guys, but I have to show you this memorial. I don't know who got this, but I absolutely adore it. So there is Steve Carell. I don't know. Oh, Stephen Colbert. And I don't know. I've never seen these doors open, but this is actually a comedy club. I don't know what this is. I've never seen these doors open. It's always closed every time I'm here. I have no idea what's down there. It's something. And then this is just an open space right now. So let me go over here and show you guys the rest of the loft. And back to me. So yeah, I think I was going to leave off on the last thing my instructor talked about. And I love his piece of advice because I follow this with any acting class that I might take, especially since all the instructors are different. He said, don't let the acting instructor, Don't let whoever you're taking classes from fuck you up. I think he said it just like that. In a way, and what he meant by this was how, take what you want and leave what you don't. And what I took from this is that, yes, every instructor, whether it's improv, whether it's acting, script breakdown, whatever type of technique, exercise, whatever class it is, they're to teach you what you came there, what you paid for. They're to teach. They are there to do their job. It's your job to know yourself so well to know that, okay, what they just said just doesn't work for me. Something like Stella Adler's technique, something like Uta Hagen's, or the Sanford Meisner's technique, they're all different. And to know yourself so well, to know this is the technique that works best for me, or this is a technique that just doesn't stick with me. That's what I got from his advice. That don't let a acting instructor or whoever fuck you up. You know yourself better than anyone. I'm just here to teach you improv. Take what you want, leave what you don't. And in case no one has told you yet today, I love you. You matter. You have value. And let me say something I haven't said before. I had something so good on the way here, on the 5 hours here. By the way, you're getting 5 hours of driving, 3-hour improv class, post Geo, so I'm kind of tired and I'm sick. Doing all this for you guys, so I love you. I really want to harp on don't make mistakes. I was trying to be so inspirational. I meant make mistakes. See, that was a perfect example of doing so. Make mistakes, embrace those mistakes, and when you do, don't shy, don't crawl away, don't fold under the pressure. Embrace that pressure, because we all do. Even I do. Even I just did. One thing that him and the other, my other classmates talked about from their previous instructors is that he caught me, and I do this a lot, I crossed my arms. Or when I was thinking, I still crossed my arms like this. And he stopped many, many times with me, with other classmates. He said, don't cross your arms. Don't do that. Or any type of arm placement that was kind of closed off. He said, don't do that. And I was like, why is this? Why do you do that? He said, when you're closed off, it feels like you're closing yourself off to the audience. It feels caged in. This is definitely a safe and a natural thing to do. Just as humans, we do this because, yeah, you could be thinking, it could be a natural moment, but this is trying to take control of the situation because it's uncomfortable. An improv class is very uncomfortable. And, even this, crossing your arms, you need to be open and present, especially with improv, regardless if it's a stage or in class. This is saying, you are accepting. So it really taught me that improv, yes, you can verbally accept, but your whole body, this is a heart, body, mind, and soul. If you put that into this, you accept just like that. I'm gonna leave you with that, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you.